Thanks for joining us here at noon today. I'm Dustin Grove here with meteorologist Rob Ellis on another fall afternoon. I just got a text alert from White County about an abnormal river condition, and I thought, well, why would that be? We haven't, and it was because the river level is so low.
Yeah, and that's going to become more and more a concern if we don't get substantial rain. The good news is the rain is expected for Saturday. Now, is it going to be something that will bust the drought? No, not at all. Okay. We're going to be seeing things lead up to that. So today we clear out, which is nice. Temperatures are warming up. Tomorrow we'll see the clouds filter back in because of that rain that's on the way. So let me get right into it with temperatures. We are expecting the temperatures to be in the 60s for much of the day today, although I think we'll just barely touch 70 degrees for most locations. We had the clouds earlier. Those have moved out, and now it's just watching a very pleasant afternoon. Feels like fall, but still very dry conditions in place. And that's not going to change until we get to the weekend. So everything for this part of the forecast is before that system gets here. Here are the clouds that are exiting. They're moving to the south. Some of you in the western part of the state are still dealing with some of those clouds, but I think high pressure is going to build in, and it'll look like this for almost all of you by the rest of the afternoon. We'll go with high temperatures right around 70, and then seeing the temperatures cool down overnight. After a 70-degree high temperature, we should be able to drop to near 50 for our overnight low. Clear skies. Looking to tomorrow, the one thing you're going to notice is that the clouds are on the increase, and that's the next system that's on our way. It's going to arrive for the weekend. Lots of big changes in the weekend forecast, including the possibility of rain, storms, and some really breezy conditions. I'm going to cover all of that for you coming up in just a few, Dustin, talk about how much rain we could see.
Okay, we'll see you in a few, Rob. Thank you. To the headlines now. New developments today on a proposed rate hike for AES customers. Indy DPW says it has reached a partial settlement with AES. City leaders say it'll save taxpayers millions, but not everybody's on board. AES first announced plans to increase rates earlier this year, citing the rising cost of business. That request is awaiting approval from the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission in the spring. But the move has gotten widespread pushback from customers. DPW leaders here in Indy say they've been in litigation with AES for months, negotiating for better costs for the city and for residents. Now they've laid out a few of the settlement terms. AES Indiana would be prohibited from seeking another base rate increase for about 4 years, so not before January 1st of 2030. Plus, they negotiated an approximate 50% reduction in AES's rate increase for street lighting. Fixed monthly charges would also remain at the same IURC approved levels for residents. AES tells us if the rate hikes are approved, customers using 1,000 kilowatts per month would see a $10 monthly bill increase by 2027. They also sent us a statement saying, in part, and we'll put it up on the screen here, despite rising costs, we have been disciplined in our planning through measures like our operations and maintenance costs holding flat for the past 5 years. We have a deep commitment to operating efficiently and keeping rates as low as possible. The Citizens Action Coalition, though, says this settlement would still leave customers paying more than they should. In a statement this morning, the consumer advocate group said this deal, quote, also fails to adequately address the egregious and prolonged billing system problems AES customers have experienced since the utility rolled out a new system in November of 2023. So we'll have much more on this developing story coming up today on 13 News at 4. The discussion of censorship continues at Indiana University. This is a dispute between leaders of the student-led but school-funded newspaper at IU and university leaders. And now we're hearing from big-name alumni of IU like Mark Cuban speaking out against what he's calling censorship. Cuban posted to X saying, not happy censorship isn't the way. I gave money to IU General Fund for the IDS last year, the Indiana Daily Student, so they could pay everyone and not run a deficit. I gave more than they asked for. I told them I'm happy to help because the IDS is important to kids at IU. Student editors for the Indiana Daily Student tell us the school canceled all remaining print editions for the rest of the year, a move they're calling censorship. The announcement comes the day after the school's media dean terminated the director of student media. The student editors say the director, Jim Rodenbush, was told by media school administrators no news could be published in the homecoming publications. Students say when Rodenbush expressed censorship concerns to the administration, he was terminated.
If they're willing to violate the First Amendment for what they view as a business decision, it doesn't matter that it's print. It could go anywhere.
We could do it like we could
An IU spokesperson says the campus is shifting resources from print to digital media, prioritizing students' experiences that are more consistent with today's media environment. As for the termination of the director of student media, that spokesperson says the university cannot comment on personnel matters. Other news now. From the courtroom, the man accused of shooting multiple people at an Indianapolis CVS store appeared in court this morning. Terry Rowe Jr. was there for his initial hearing before the judge. His next hearing has been scheduled for December. That shooting happened last week here at this CVS on East 10th. Police say Rowe was yelling at an employee and followed her outside. After her boyfriend came to pick her up, police say Rowe pulled a gun out and began shooting. Metro Police tell us the boyfriend shot back with his own gun. Officers say bullets from Rowe's gun hit 2 workers. They're both expected to be okay. Turning now to the ongoing conversation between community members and police. They are working to learn how law enforcement can be more involved within the places they serve. Our Alex Almanza went to last night's community meeting for that discussion.
On Wednesday, it was an honest conversation surrounding one question: how can law enforcement repair trust with the community? Here at Purpose of Life Ministries, one answer sticks out: compassion.
And we are gathering tonight not as adversaries, but as neighbors and colleagues and friends.
Inside this church, residents, pastors, and police sat side by side, listening, learning, and talking.
And believe that certainly trust can be rebuilt, that the community can be reformed, but it takes the community and law enforcement coming together for that to happen.
Purpose of Life Ministries and the Northwest Community Resource District Council hosted the discussion featuring Dr. Michael Christie, a chaplain and mindfulness teacher from Connecticut. He led interactive exercises on empathy and trauma-informed communication.
And instead of focusing on the need of safety, we fight over that we have different strategies. You want to do it this way, and I want to do it this way. And so everything falls apart because of our need to win and defend our strategy.
For IMPD Northwest Commander Lorenzo Lewis, the discussion was a chance to hear what the community needs and to explain what officers face on the street.
People asking for maybe additional resources in the community to address mental health crises. We can't be experts at everything, right? But we can be as efficient and as responsible as possible when we respond to mental health incidents and other crises.
Lewis says it's about teamwork from churches to city leaders to make sure both officers and residents feel safe.
Community leaders say that this is just the beginning of several conversations. They hope to have more dialogue in the future and even tease the idea of training for officers. In Indianapolis, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
Alex, thank you. All right, time to check those closets. Have your kids try on their coats, and if they don't fit, you can donate them. Here at 13 News, we are partnering once again with Classic Cleaners and the Salvation Army to make sure every child has a warm coat this year. Here's Marina Silva with more.
Well, having a warm winter coat is so important for kids, and even nowadays it is so expensive. That's why we're doing Coats for Kids, to make sure that kids here in central Indiana have a warm coat for the winter. So here are some of the coats that are already donated at a Classic Cleaners location. They come here, they're gonna get cleaned before they go to each kid. They go over here, they spot check them, make sure that these zippers all work, check the pockets before going into the washer and getting ready to get to those kids on November 8th. Every kid that's registered will get a warm coat for the winter that fits them. This year, 5,000 kids are registered to receive a coat, and right now you can still help out. Coats for Kids is accepting all sizes, but they're in need of coats for elementary-aged kids. In a time when things are so expensive, this helps.
The need is growing. More and more people are coming to us asking for a coat. Just last year, we had a 38% increase in the coats that were distributed. We're seeing that again this year in just the registration. So it's a big need. I mean, people may think that a coat is simple, and it is, but it can really provide some relief for a family. A family of 4 could spend upwards to $100 to $125 on a coat.
You can go to any of the 19 Classic Cleaners locations here in Indianapolis. You'll find one of these boxes, and all you have to do is drop your gently used or new coat in there. They'll take care of the rest. Now, if you don't have a coat, you can also donate $25 and they will go and buy a coat for a kid to have at the Coats for Kids event on November 8th. So together, we can make sure that kids in central Indiana have a warm coat to use this winter. Reporting in Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
Marina, thank you. And you can head to WTHR.com/coats. That's where you'll find the QR code and make that donation.